Hi, this is Jason from Horrific Nightmares. Welcome back to the next episode of Multipack Mania. All right, this is going to be Pick a Pack week. Pick a pack, say that 5 times fast. And this is going to be a real easy one for me. So the pack that I picked is going to be the one that I reviewed, Grave Mistakes. And I wanted to also watch the other feature on here called The Book of Lore. Now, The Book of Lore is a 2007 film, which runs approximately 111 minutes, and is written and directed by Chris LaMartina. It's also written by Jimmy George. Now, Chris LaMartina, I think, is a great young director. He was responsible for the other feature on here called Grave Mistakes, The Call Girl of Cthulhu, and President's Day, which I happen to be a big fan of. Now, this stars Mike Baldwin as Nolan Lumen. He was in Roulette, Witch's Brew, and Grave Mistakes. D. Patrick Bauer as Evan Nash. He was in President's Day, Call Girl of Cthulhu, and Grave Mistakes. And Matt Benensowitz as the Inquisitor. He was in Call Girl of Cthulhu. Now, the budget on this film was $8,000, and I actually really enjoyed this film. I'm going to go into I'm going to get to a synopsis, and then I'll go into my only con for the film. Okay, basically, this tells the story of a kid who lost his girlfriend. He was talking to her one night after she left his house. She, of course, left her lighter there, and she disappeared and was feared missing after he got done talking to her. Fast forward to a few years later, the girl is finally found, and when she's found killed in a certain fashion that was apparently done by the DLH, which is the Devil's Left Hand. Now, of course, this was filmed in Maryland, and the town that this comes from is Laytonsville. And apparently there's an old myth that a person called the Devil's Left Hand kidnapped a bunch of kids years ago and held them, and all the evil has come from what they have done to these kids. So once they finally find the Book of Lore, which is why it's called the Book of Lore, the Book of Lore is basically written on a composition book like this, and it has stories in the Book of Lore that's supposed to be clues to finding the Devil's Left Hand. And I'm pretty much going to leave it there. It sounds kind of confusing, but it's a very involved, it's almost like a Scooby-Doo mystery. And I really enjoyed that aspect of the film. The acting, I thought, was some of the best I've ever seen in a Chris LaMartina movie. My only gripe with it, and this is the only con I have for the film, is that it could have been probably shortened by about 15 minutes. Hour and 51 minutes is a long time for a horror movie, in my opinion. But they did use the time well, and the pacing was good in the film. I just felt they could have cut some stuff down and maybe made the pacing even more exciting. Now, the clues in the book refer to the other people who have gone missing by the Devil's Left Hand, also the children that were kidnapped years ago. And I thought that kind of fit into the whole Scooby-Doo mystery sort of thing. Now, when I say Scooby-Doo mystery, I don't mean that there's going to be somebody behind the whole thing, and, well, there is actually, but it's not going to be, well, I would have gotten away with it if it wasn't for you meddling kids, which they seem to say in every single episode. But it does kind of resemble that in a fashion. But now this is a double feature signed by Chris LaMartina and Jimmy George. And if you see right here, there's supposed to be nails, actual fingernail pieces in their eyes. That's what part of the Devil's Left Hand did to the guy's girlfriend when he found her. This is a really good double feature from Camp Motion Pictures. If you can find it, I'm not sure if it's still available. I ended up finding this at a thrift store, I believe, thrift store, and I really lucked out because, like I said, I really like Chris LaMartina's movies. I know he just did one in 2020. I don't know if it's gotten a release yet, but it's called Now for Something Really Scary, I think is what it's called. But it was made in 2020, but it doesn't have a release date. So I don't know if it's being held up by distribution or what exactly is going on, but I actually haven't seen anything. I haven't seen anything from this guy that I haven't liked yet. I've seen Call Girl Cthulhu. I reviewed that on Body Bags. President's Day, I've reviewed probably a couple times on my channel, and I really like it. And it's homegrown horror for me. It's actually horror from where I live. So you can't beat that. And he's also associated with one of Hobbs's buddies. The guy who did Babysitter Massacre is also a friend of Chris LaMartina, if I'm not mistaken. And I know he's worked with him in the past. So that's pretty cool. So we have a direct connection. And I'm actually not sure what the theme is for next week. So I will be as surprised as you because I don't think Joe and I have picked it yet. So stay tuned for that. I'm sure Joe will say it in his video. So definitely check out Joe's video. And if you like what you see in here, hit that like button and subscribe. And until next time, peace.